Welcome to episode 13 of the Sweet Nature Cruisecast. Hi, it's Linz, as always I'm joined by Marky.
Hello.
Hello, and today we're talking the pros and cons of booking a last-minute cruise. But first, a little mood music.
What did you think of today's music? Well, we'll take it for the audio listeners that face isn't impressed. So the quest continues for more mood music.
That was the worst one yet.
That was the worst one yet. I would try to go with something, because last week's one was quite a dark one.
Yes, but at least that had something to say. That was like you've been trapped in a lift.
Okay, I'll keep working on it. Maybe we should just employ a professional to do as the theme.
No.
No to the theme, or no to the professional? No. Anyway, let's move on to the topic. As usual, we've got a topic of the episode, and then 3 news stories that you don't know about yet. But you do know about the topic, because you picked this week's one.
I did pick this one, and I feel it might be helpful.
And it is.
To me.
It might be helpful to you. So we'll flip this around a little bit.
Okay.
We're doing the pros and cons of booking a last-minute cruise.
Yes.
Which normally you introduce that, and then I start it, but it's your topic.
You do it.
No, so now I'm passing over to you for you to sort of kick it off.
Okay. So usually we are very organised in our cruises.
Yeah, I would agree.
Book them years in advance.
Sometimes years in advance. Normally at least a year.
Yeah, to get the best pricing on release and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Apologies if you can hear the dishwasher. I would say that at the minute we've got a free week in September.
We have, yeah.
And we've not got a cruise booked for that.
No, not yet.
So we will be, as we're in August, booking what's considered a last-minute cruise.
Did you just do quotation marks?
Yes.
Good. Well, yeah, I think if you're within sort of 2 months of going on the cruise, is that what you would class as last minute? At what point does it become last minute?
I would say, we are booked this time next month off. So that's kind of last minute. It's within...
Yeah, because we currently don't have anything to go on it. We've got the time booked, but we haven't got a cruise yet.
Now, one of the pros of this is that we can be quite open to where we go. The con is, if you see a really good price out of Barcelona or Rome or somewhere like that, the flights are going to screw you over.
They are, yeah.
That's the problem. You might see a wonderful cruise out of Miami and the flight will be more money.
Well, we had that challenge when we went on Sun Princess, because we got invited on Sun Princess after the original one was cancelled, but we only found out about that within like a 2-week period, by which point the flights out there for us to book were crazy expensive compared to what they would have been.
It's for us, darling.
Well, no, because we originally had the flights booked.
Yeah, I know,
but
that. I don't feel that's a good example.
No, but I'm saying that when you're in that sort of last couple of week period, we've seen it this year alone.
The flights are mental.
That the flight were massively more expensive. And we're going to have that challenge, which then means if we have to take the flight element out of it.
So now we're looking at Southampton.
Which then limits it a lot more.
We've got Southampton, we've got a week.
Yep.
So we can only play with a week.
Yeah. Plus or minus probably a couple of days.
So we
could be a massive issue.
Well, no, it would, because I haven't got the holidays booked, and then I go into the people's holiday time.
Okay.
And that's the reason that we're not going on the Monkeys cruise, because then it'll be clashing with my colleague's holiday.
Right.
We've had this conversation at least 6 times.
I'm not saying that we've not, but not on the podcast.
Well, we're having it now for prosperity.
Okay. Is this so you can pull up the podcast next time you say, I told you that?
We can't do it.
No.
So that's out of the question. So we've got a week to play with. And a lot of people will be the same. They'll book a cheeky.
It is, because that's specifically us.
Yes.
I'm sure other people can go back and say, yeah, can I change my holiday by plus or minus a couple of days?
Maybe they can. But either way, a lot of people book a cheeky week off and then try and make a holiday fit.
Yeah, they do. And we've done that in the past, not
Yes.
for a long time. I think the last time we did sort of a last-minute cruise was that Ventura,
Yes.
which coincidentally is actually going out during that week.
It is going out during that week, and that's something I've got my eye on. Now, if you remember back when we booked Ventura, we booked it on the Friday. We were going on the Sunday.
Yeah, we booked it a couple of days.
Yeah. And when we got down there, we had no luggage tags or anything like that.
No, because it was too close to
Because the agent hadn't paid the bill. So there was an outstanding balance.
Yeah, just to be clear, this isn't Martin Travel Stewart and Karen who we use now.
No.
It's for a different person.
No, it was just a large,
met them at that point.
large cruise
Yeah.
warehouse cruise deal company.
Yeah.
And they'd not settled up.
No.
So we were told, it's not been settled.
Yeah.
And we were like, but we've paid for it. And then they did a bit of...
To be fair, they figured that out very quickly.
Yeah, that it was one of their big...
Partners.
Yes.
One of their big last-minute partners.
Yes. But even so, that was a little bit hairy.
It was, 'cause it wasn't something that we'd encountered before, and not something that we'd thought about.
No.
Yeah, but having said that, we probably won't book it with just 3 days to go.
No.
Again, that... I'm not saying we never would.
What is the optimum then for booking the last minute that you feel comfortable with?
That I would feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. Knowing what we...
Probably 2 weeks out, I would feel quite comfortable booking something a couple of weeks out.
So we're booking something 2 weeks from now?
Within 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
2 weeks from now would be like the end point of me feeling quite comfortable.
Yeah.
Because then anything beyond that is a little bit getting close.
Yeah. Now, do we look, when you're booking a last minute, if we could get a deal on a cruise line that we'd not been on before, do we risk it and go last minute for something that I'm talking like Fred Olsen or Ambassador or something like that? Because we've already established we can't fly because we might look like we can get an amazing price on
Out
a
of
cruise.
somewhere. But yeah,
The flights.
the flight might be just too prohibitively. I'll put my teeth back in.
Have a drink.
Just too expensive. Let's go with that.
Be too expensive. So, and then you've got your overnights in a hotel as well.
It is, and I think this is one of the big sort of cons to the last minute one, which is that your incidental costs are probably going to be much more
Than what you thought about.
Yeah. Having said that, you can get some cheaper hotels at the last minute.
You can.
We had a look at the hotel that we're staying at when we got on Virgin, and I rebooked that again last
You
night.
did? Because that had come down.
Stuart had messaged me that his had come down, so I went on and checked. Ours were completely refundable. We didn't pay anything until I went in there anyway, so I just cancelled it, rebooked it, and it came down £34.
Yeah, which is not an insignificant amount of money.
It's not, because the hotel was only £130 to start with.
Yeah.
So it came down
Sub 100.
significantly.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so you can get elements. I think the only real one that's an expense last minute is the sort of flight one.
and the car parking at the airport can be pricey as well.
Well, if we use Virgin again as that example, the Virgin car park at the port sold out.
Yeah.
So you would have to find somewhere else to park.
Or alternative,
Or get a train down there, or...
which again is going to be pricey.
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks out, a month out, you're probably okay still. It's within
still
that first
pretty
week of it
pricey.
where it gets sort of expensive. So when we're talking about sort of pros and cons, because that's what we're talking about in this video,
I'm still concerned about the dishwasher.
I don't think people can hear the dishwasher.
If you can hear a weird whooshing noise.
Let us know in the comments. You shouldn't be able to, because the mics are designed not to.
But when you say it's not going to pick it up and then I can hear it.
Well, I'm not saying you can't hear it. I can hear it as well. But let's move back onto the topic. The cons, we're saying one of the biggest cons then is price increases.
On flights.
On flights.
So the cruise may look really good,
Yeah.
but the flights might be really bad.
What about clothing and what to wear? And is 2 week out, we're saying 2 week for us would be that optimal last minute.
Yeah.
We want really feel comfortable doing it sort of any closer than that?
I do think it depends on which cruise line you're going on.
Well, let's assume that you needed to buy some clothes. Is that enough time to get them if you needed them?
Well, I don't know what I'd like to think that we'd go on a cruise that we had the appropriate attire for.
Okay, so you're saying that you've to take that into account?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the pros then, which we've talked a lot about the cons to it there.
Yeah, I had another con.
Go for it. We definitely want to pros.
All the speciality dining are gone. You're going to get the worst room because you're only going to get what's left. These are cons.
Yeah. I mean, for the dining...
You might not be able to book anything like that. All the nice excursions are probably gone that you can book online.
Depending where you're going. That you're definitely in that sort of latter part of getting what's left.
You're in what we call stateroom roulette when we book something like this, and you don't know what you're getting.
No, right. Whenever we booked relatively last minute, is only then being a guaranteed room available. Yeah. Now, that's not to say that that's the same for everyone on every cruise line and every instance. No. That's just our personal experience.
Well, that's been the best pricing.
But having said that, when we did it on Ventura, we didn't have an issue. We got a good room.
It was pretty central. It was a balcony. It was nice.
So it's where we would have picked it.
I guess, we've been very lucky. Touch wood, we'd be lucky again.
So I don't see that as being a massive issue. I do take in what you've said, though, in terms of the availability of things such as excursions. If you're going somewhere, when we're looking at Southampton, for instance, if you're going to the fjords, some of the sort of more famous excursions and the really popular ones
may have already gone. Yeah.
And that might be a reason then not to potentially do that cruise if that's something that you really want to do.
Yeah.
Having said that, there's always plenty to do in ports anyway. And you can always stay on ship.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think that's necessarily a massive issue. But I think speciality dining, if that is something that you really want to do, might be a problem.
Well, we'll see when we come to book it in 2 weeks. We can be the guinea pigs.
Well, we've been guinea pigs before. When we went on Ventura, did we have any issue booking speciality dining?
No, because we did book it. I think we booked it on the ship on the first.
Because that was our first P&O experience.
Yeah. I think we booked it before we got on.
We couldn't book anything in advance because we were too close and it didn't update on the system.
We booked it when we got on because they did us it was one of those all first night half price jobbies. I don't know if it was anymore.
And I think we bought the drinks package when we got on as well, didn't we?
Did.
We couldn't get any of that in advance. No. We were too close to it for that.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's why if you're looking at that 2-week period, that's probably
optimum.
Yeah. In terms of getting
We'll see.
But there is that chance of sort of last minute cancellations. Okay, let's talk about the pros then.
Okay.
We spent a lot of time sort of on the downside to doing it.
Okay.
What's the big pluses to it?
You might get to do something that you didn't think you were going to get to try.
Such as?
Such as we could look at Fred Olsen out of Newcastle.
Yeah, if there was good pricing, you mean?
If there's good pricing, that's it. You have a budget in mind and then see what that gets you, because that's what will happen with us. We won't look at the cruise and go, we'll know how much we've got to spend and take it from there.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing. When you're talking about sort of that last minute positives, though,
you feel you get more value for money.
Yeah, okay. I see where you're going from that then.
Thank you.
It's not always. Our very, very first cruise was a hot deal. It were a very last minute, not within 2 weeks, but I think about 4, 5, 6 weeks out. It wasn't far out.
No, it wasn't.
It was certainly within 2 months.
It was certainly within 2 months.
And at that time, that was Royal Caribbean. Mm-hmm. They used to do hot deals. Yeah. And that was the last minute.
Yeah. They don't touch those anymore.
No, but what do they tend to? I'm not talking about Caribbean, I'm talking about cruise lines generally. Because they don't advertise these last minute ones discounted in that way anymore.
No.
And some cruise lines, such as Princess, say that you'll never get cheaper than when it first comes on sale through them. Mm-hmm. Is that where you have to then go through an agent to get that last minute deal?
Now, what I've found is when we've booked last minute and gone direct, we've ended up with a nicer room than if we've booked and used one of the big outlets.
When did we book it last minute again, apart from Ventura?
I want to say...
obviously, I know Navigator, but that's a long time.
Cunard.
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth. We booked that late direct.
Okay. And that worked out.
We got a really lovely room.
Yeah. We did get a nice room on there.
For what was not that price.
Yeah, now I can't say that's because we booked it direct.
But then again, this was just coming out of COVID. Are we now going to find that what we think we're going to get and what we actually get are two different things?
Well, that's it. 'Cause it's when we did both of those ones, cruising had just restarted.
Now, do we talk to our agent and say, what can we get? Or do we just scour the...
Well, I think there's a bit of both. We'll be scouring over the next couple of weeks and going, what have we got on there? But we'll definitely be speaking to Stuart and Karen and going, what is there that's...
Do we look
available?
at one of the US discount houses?
Give me like vacations to go.
Yeah.
You see, when you're talking last minute ones, that's what a lot of people...
They come into their own, don't they?
...think of. I mean, you do get it with some of the big sort of European travel agents as well, but I don't think there's an equivalent of vacations to go.
Not in that
Not that
sense.
I can think of.
It gives me a bit of anxiety.
Well, you don't have the same protections. If you're listening to this and you're not in the UK, then you're not bothered. But within the UK, we have the sort of up to an atoll protection, depending whether you need it to fly or not fly, and whether you're taking a package and stuff.
Yeah.
And certainly with just recently we had the IT problem where a lot of planes were cancelled within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
If you bought that separately,
oh dear,
you can't get to your cruise. Your cruise, you won't get your money back on.
No. So I feel we've gone a little bit hardcore there. So let's go back. Let's dial it back. So we're going to do a little bit of research to book this cruise. We're going to speak to his agent and we're going to find a cruise 2 weeks out to book.
Yeah.
We've got a budget in mind.
Yeah.
We should get something that we like.
It'll be a cruise, which means
Will it be? Anyway. Yeah, but would we be happy to go on a ship that we've done before, or we're going for a new ship? What's the deal?
Well, if you're talking about us or you're talking about for other people, when you're talking about it from our perspective, then I'd personally prefer to do a ship that I've not done before.
Okay.
Or a ship that's had a massive renovation.
Yes.
So, for instance, Navigator of the Sea, I know it's not over here.
No, it's not.
But we've done Navigator 3 times.
Yeah.
Well, I've done it twice, you've done it 3 times.
Yeah.
But that had a massive overhaul sort of 4 years or so ago-ish. So it's almost unrecognisable in a lot of what it's got on there now compared to last time.
Yeah.
So I'd be quite happy to go on a ship that I've done before but has changed a lot. But I don't know if I'd want to do one that I'd done like maybe 6 months ago.
Okay.
But that's for us specifically.
Yeah, so in respect of pros,
should be cheaper.
Should be cheaper.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Should
get a little bit more like choice to what in your price range to what you'd normally have.
Yeah. And certainly if you're willing to take a little bit more of a risk and use, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with vacations to go at all.
Oh, I know.
They've been around for a long time, but you're coming out of your comfort zone of how you would normally book something that you've got a little bit more sort of open to you.
No, I think they're a great resource because they list every cruise going in whatever month and whatever.
Oh, they're fantastic.
It's a great resource for that. So, yeah, we've got to... Where we go, we don't know.
No. But I think really the only pro, unless you can think of something else, is that it will probably be cheaper.
And it'll be a nice surprise. That's a pro.
Well,
you don't know where you're going.
I'll give you an even better pro.
What?
Your cruise countdown is going to be really short.
That's great. That's true. That's really true. I like that.
We've got a cruise booked for 2026.
Yeah.
Which, as of now, is like 20 months away.
Yeah, well, they do it. Well, yeah.
And that sounds a long way away. You immediately book it and you're in close to being single figures.
Yeah.
We'll book it and have somewhere between 28 and 14 days-ish
Yeah.
when we book it, which makes it come around very quickly then.
Yeah.
You then got what do I need to pack, what I've got to wash, iron, all that sort of stuff. But I think getting straight into that cruise countdown's quite a big pro.
That is a huge pro.
So, yeah, price probably cheaper.
Hopefully cheaper. I hope it's cheaper. It should be cheaper.
Well, I wouldn't expect it to be more expensive.
But you should be able to get some
But it
sort
may
of deal.
be more expensive than, for instance, when it first went on sale.
Yeah.
We have seen,
Yeah.
certainly Cunard of lately, Princess of lately, their direct pricing is definitely more than what it was when the first one sale.
Yeah. Okay.
But we will report back
Yes.
on that sort of.
And then we can do a full summary of what it was like and whether we'll do it again and whether we did go out of his comfort zone and whether it was a nightmare.
Well, we will report back, but it brings us nicely into the news story.
Okay, lovely.
Because the first one that I'm going to touch on, and they're all happier news stories, because last episode they were a bit darker news stories.
Oh, okay.
Not dark, but one of the ships that we've looked at has been Disney.
Yes.
So the first news story is about Disney.
Oh, lovely.
Not about the one we're looking at, but it's still about Disney. And that is about Disney Treasure.
Disney Treasure.
Which is the Wish size. So this isn't, it's not Adventure. It's not the Disney massive one.
Yeah.
That one's still being done. I think that comes out in 26 in Singapore.
I don't know.
It's definitely not this year.
No.
It might be 25. But Disney Treasure floated out this weekend.
Oh, lovely.
I think
that
it was
means it's
Saturday.
more pricey.
So yeah, it's already got more expensive, and it's having its maiden on the 21st of December.
Wow, the Christmas one.
Yeah, so we'll come back to that in a sec. Don't forget that.
Okay.
At Port Canaveral, and as they move that out of I think it's like Port Hall 6 or Port 6 or something that it's called, because it made me think of Hall H at Comic Con. As they moved it out, they literally moved Disney Destiny's block in.
Wow.
So Disney Destiny is the next one in the Wish size.
Yeah.
So again, not Adventure size.
No, well, that's only one.
But when it first came out, I think when they were first announced they were buying Genting.
Yes,
Genting. When they were buying that, which will be the biggest Disney ship ever.
Yes.
I said they should call it Disney Marvel.
You did.
Because, obviously, the Marvel interaction of the comics.
And
it's big. It's Marvel.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's just a slam dunk. I was so confident on that. I was wrong. They called it Adventure.
Yes.
But what they're doing on Disney Destiny, not Adventure, is they're putting Marvel characters front and centre in it.
Oh, lovely.
So when you go in there, apparently the one that you're going to have is T'Challa, the Black Panther statue in the main atrium.
Rather than like Cinderella. Or...
Yeah. And
Tiana.
they're going to have a lot more Marvel heroes and villains around there.
Oh, lovely.
But they're also going to have a lot of hero and villain especially, inspired bars and lounges.
Love it.
Which I thought were a great idea.
Yeah, I love that. They can keep that.
Does that appeal? Do you think that'll appeal a little bit more?
I love it.
Do you think it'll appeal a little bit more to an audience outside of just sort of those going on with families? That maybe those that are into the comic a little bit more, or the movies?
And maybe that's what they're hoping, but maybe.
Just to get a slightly different audience.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the Maiden being 21st December? How confident would you be?
I just thinking of that.
Because that's your Christmas holiday.
When Avia got moved to that one, and that was
you're going on there with your family, your kids, and then you have to tell them 2 days before it's not on.
No, you're just thinking about how there's always teething troubles. Good luck, Disney. Good luck.
Well, I'm sure Disney will nail it, and it'll all be perfect.
Yeah.
And everyone is on it. I'm sure no matter even if there are some teething troubles, we'll have a fantastic time because it's Christmas and it's a Disney ship in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, story 2.
Yes.
Norwegian Encore, which is one of their Breakaway Plus vessels.
Okay.
That came out in 2019.
Yes.
And they've said that it's now going into dry dock very, very shortly to have extensive work done.
Okay.
So it's 5 years old. It's about right when they normally do that.
The first go,
but it's having quite a lot done. So it's having dining venues changed.
Okay.
I'll come back into these in a second.
With one menu.
Adding an adult-only area.
Nice.
Repurposing more spaces in the staterooms.
Okay.
Well, I'm always less sure on that element, so we'll come back. And expanding suites in the Haven area.
Okay.
So
With one menu.
maybe with 2 menus.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Now, one of the bits that they're changing is the it's called Spice H2O,
Yeah.
and that's the adults only outdoor lounge,
Nice.
which has hot tubs, it has pools and a bar. The dining venues, they're getting rid of 2 dining venues,
Okay.
which we haven't been into either of these. Los Lobos and Coco's. They're being removed, and their former spaces are being used to expand Cagney's Steakhouse and the Teppanyaki.
Okay, so they must have the
Well, that would suggest that
demand.
Cagney's and Teppanyaki
The demand is
are in demand, and the others weren't.
Yeah.
But it seems strange that they're going from 4 specialty dining down to 2.
But they must be the 2 most popular.
Yeah, there's obviously...
The data must be there.
The data absolutely must be there. But you'd have thought maybe they might have potential looked to put in different ones that are working on other ones.
Yeah, but I mean,
Is less more?
I think that NCL are looking at everything at the minute. And if they know that they could book that restaurant, those 2 restaurants up twice over every night, then of course, compared to the others.
Well, we've covered the NCL cost cutting on a previous podcast, and definitely getting rid of 2 restaurants and having it all going to those 2 makes sense. Hopefully, don't just go into one menu for the main dining room, which you talked about on there.
Oh, indeed.
Old Nostradamus at the side of us. But it's also getting 24 more balcony bedrooms.
Okay.
So that must mean they're taking out a lot of space that we use for other things.
Yes.
They haven't said what. A couple of club balcony ones and repurposing part of a lounge for that. But it's going to increase occupancy by about 50 people.
Okay.
So not massive.
No, but they
from
must...
4,004 to 4,052.
54.
Well, you would have been right for the figure. I rounded up.
Okay.
So it wasn't quite 50.
Okay, I know.
48.
Good at maths then.
You were doing really well at maths. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And then the final story.
Okay.
It seemed right that we had a Virgin story, given that we've gone Virgin
very soon.
18 days at the time of
We're
recording.
going to sound really moany now, aren't we? They know we need to sort out another late availability one, and we're going on one.
But that's a 4-day one, and we've had that booked for a long time.
Yeah, I know.
So
we're going with friends.
This one just booked on this one.
Yeah. We're even going on
we need a recovery cruise. Yeah, maybe it's sort of like the Fred Olsen or Saga one might be a bit of an after this. Just give us a chance for the liver to recover a little bit. Now, I'm not convinced that you love Virgin.
You do love Virgin.
And you're really looking forward to this cruise coming
I'm looking forward to this cruise.
I think the new thing that they're launching on board, you're not going to be as into.
Okay.
They're launching a onboard running club.
No.
It's called the 8LRC, which is the 8 Legs Running Club.
Okay.
And apparently...
Sounds like my initials.
It just almost sounds like your initials, apart from there's no R in your initial. Regina.
No, your plans.
That apparently came about when they had someone on board recently who ran a marathon on the running track.
Okay.
And then...
If everybody does that.
No. I've practically hardly ever seen anyone on the running track. But everyone talks about Virgin being a party ship, but it's actually a mega fitness ship as well. The people take it really serious on there. Far more than I've seen on any other cruise line. But then they had another gentleman on it who ran for... You look to have a smirk on your face.
No, I'm not smirking.
It looks like there's a laugh, Bill.
No.
Another gentleman ran solid for 24 hours for charity on it.
Okay, that's very good.
And ran 639 laps, which was the equivalent of 160 mile.
Wow.
And so off of the back of that, they thought, let's build a running club.
Okay, that's nice.
So from what I can gather, it's the first running club at sea.
Okay.
So it's just Virgin doubling down on
the fitness.
The fitness one, that you can come on board, enjoy all this fantastic food, but still have your fitness regime that you add on. And well done for Virgin to continue to do that. We will continue to enjoy the food and the cocktails more than necessarily the running club.
Mm-hmm.
But that sort of brings us up to the end of the cruise cast then.
Well, thank you, darling. I finished my wine. I made it last only a small one.
Well, you had a bigger one than me because you finished most of this yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it was ironing wine.
Is that an official thing now? Ironing wine?
Ironing wine is the best. Cheers. Thank you for listening and have a lovely day.